The tropical Central American country of El Salvador is home to hundreds of thousands of Seventh-day Adventists. The country is divided into 5 conferences, and the Central Conference has been working with Indiana Reach Out to construct churches like this one throughout their conference. Over the last 2.5 years, 3 groups have gone down, and each one has constructed a church. But the need is much greater. The conference told us that the need was for 25 new churches, so a new approach was needed. The idea was developed that some local members who were builders, with the help of church members, could construct some of the churches. Within a few months, things began to work. It became evident that there were construction workers throughout the conference. What was needed was building materials for them to go to work. These churches could be built for about $10,000 apiece. This is one of the first churches that was built in this way. They had been meeting on a member's front porch. Now they are in their new church. This church was built by this man. His wife was a Seventh-day Adventist and had become very ill. He firmly believed that God had performed a miracle and healed her. And in return, he wanted to build her a new church, and had set about to do so, but had run out of money. Now, with material furnished by Indiana Reach Out, he has finished the church, but it did not yet have electricity. Before we were even done taking down our cameras, they loaded into the back of a truck and headed off down the road to a building that had power to have evangelistic meetings that night. This next group had a small piece of land with a very large rock on it, but no money. But when they heard that Indiana Reach Out would help them build a church, they set about to remove that rock. 2 men beat on the rock for 2 months. When the rock was finally gone, they built their church. This next church is in a very remote part of El Salvador. Funding was raised by a family whose loved one had died back in Indiana. They wanted to do something lasting in their memory, so they built a church. Construction on this church had begun a number of years ago. A man had shared his faith with his neighbors and friends, and over time a good-sized group had formed. As they had money, they would buy block and rebar and mortar. In the wall you could see where many times they had started and stopped over the years. They were to the point now where they needed a roof and a floor. In the next few weeks, they're going to be in their new church. We asked the man, "Why did you build such a large church?" He told us he wanted to be sure that everyone in town knew there was room for them in the church. There are many stories like this throughout El Salvador. If you would like to be part of building one of these churches, get involved in Indiana Reach Out and enjoy the blessing that God has in store for you.